Hey everybody, it's Hugh here again. Now that you know about Ron and I'm going to have Ron come up here and share with you guys exactly how this RaceCycler works, how the board exactly moves, and how people are able to move from the national board to the Grand National board. Ron?
Hey, thanks Hugh. What I want to talk about is what happens when you actually join RaceCycler. When you first come into the company, you have 0 personal sponsors. That means you're going to be a green flag. When you sponsor one person, when you have one personal sponsor that actually purchases software that RaceCycler has to offer, you become a white flag. And then what you really want to accomplish is you want to bring 2 personal sponsors into the company. 2 people that purchase the software and the ebooks that RaceCycler has to offer. Once that happens, you become fully qualified, and you have the potential to make all the money that you can make in the company. Now let's see what that looks like as it flows through the boards. When you first come in, you'll come into a national board. And what you'll notice is this is a 2x2. A 2x2 matrix flowing to a 2x2 matrix. Very, very different for RaceCycler from any other company out there. Most companies come in and you come in on a 2x3. So you'll see with a 2x2, there's actually 7 positions on each board. And then let's say that your name is Mike. Mike, you come into the board, you come into the company, you come onto the board right here because this is the first open position on the national board. Now what happens is because you brought in 2 personal sponsors, you're qualified to make all the money that you can make in this company. And here's what happens with Sue. Sue is sitting at the top of the national board, which is what you will do once you go through this. When you come in, when Mike comes in, Sue is going to make $50 when Mike joins the company because she's sitting at the top of the national board. Now, when Sue, Bill, or Dan, or Mike brings anybody else into the company, they will continue to fill up the spots until they're all full. So let's say that Dave comes in because he sponsored Dave. Mike, you've gone out, you've gotten a personal sponsor now, so you're going to bring in Cindy. And Cindy brings in Andy. This board is now completely full. And for every person that came in on the floor line, Sue ended up making $50 for each of these people. So Sue made a total of $200 on her national board. Now Sue will go and follow her sponsor. If her sponsor happens to be on a Grand National board, and let's just say her sponsor is Sam, she will go to the next empty position on the Grand National board. So we'll take Sue and we'll move her right here to the Grand National board. And because John brought in 2 personal sponsors, he's going to make $500 when Sue came to this board. He already made $500 for James. Now let's go back to the national board and let's look at what happens with this board. So Sue is now left. She has now gone to a Grand National board. So as you can see here, we're left with the board that now splits right down the middle. Once it splits, we're going to add 4 additional positions to each board. When that happens, Bill now becomes the top of the national board, and so does Dan. So now they're on 2 separate boards. Now anybody that Bill brings in, Mike brings in, and Dave brings in will actually fill these positions at the bottom. And as these positions get filled, Bill will make $50, $50, $50, and $50. The same goes for Dan. As Dan, Cindy, or Andy bring anybody in, they will also make $50, $50, $50, and $50. So let's just say that Dan and both fill up the boards. They both made $200, and let's just assume that they were both sponsored by Sue. So they will now go to the Grand National board that Sue is on. Bill comes here, Dan comes here, John makes an additional $500, an additional $500, and has now cycled off this board. John made a total of $2,000 on this board on the Grand National. He had already made $200 on his national board, so John has made $2,200. Now, if John had checked the box that said recycle me, the program will automatically take the $230 out of the money he has made with the company and cycle him right back in to a national board, depending on what national board his sponsor may be on at that particular time. So with that, as you can see, we are now left again with another board that Mike and Dave will be at the top of, and Cindy and Andy will be at the top of, along with the people that came into the company. They will have the opportunity to make $200 apiece, as will Sam and Tim, because this board will split and 4 new positions will open up for Sam and Tim to make their $2,000. So you can see how they flow, you can see how they split, and you can see how the opportunity to make $2,200 over and over and over again exists. All you have to do is get 2 people and help your people get 2 as well.